Hello and welcome again to our It's So Fabulous blog. And back again with me is my friend Eddie Friend. He owns Excalibur Builders and Construction Company. And Eddie and I have worked together on many projects, and we're focusing right now on renovation. If you didn't see part 1 yesterday, please go back and take a look at that, because today we're focusing on trends and a few other tips that might help you if you're considering a renovation for your home. First, I want to talk about, Eddie, you've been recently appointed something very, very special, so tell me about that.
Actually, the Horry Georgetown Home Builders Association has recently started a new council for professional remodelers. It's actually called the Professional Remodelers Council, and I am the chairman of the council. We're brand new. We actually only have our second meeting coming up tomorrow. So we're just looking into ways that we can help our members that are remodelers engage the public and just to be more professional in their practices and work better with their clients.
Well, congratulations. That sounds like a lot of fun. And,
Looking forward to
one
it.
of the reasons that we're doing this segment is people have a lot of questions about remodeling, and I sort of feel like it's our job to educate them. Both of us have been through the experience many times with many clients of many walks of life and many sizes of projects. And, one of the questions that I have before we get to trends is, how does a customer or client know when a project is too small, and when do they engage a company such as yourself? I mean, do you do full renovations, teeny renovations, all renovations? How do you judge that, and how does the person know that it's okay to call a company that's as large as yours?
Well, we're a little bit different in that sense that since I started out doing small things from changing out doors and decks and all those little things that we started doing in the very beginning, we still do.
Right.
And sometimes that's really great because it gives you the opportunity to work with someone on something small before moving on to a full-scale project,
Right.
if you would. I don't think anybody should ever be afraid to call any company, regardless of their size, and at least ask if they're interested in fixing a deck or putting in new windows or
Right.
any of those types of things that they
Right.
need done.
Right.
Renovations truly do come in all sizes. You've got things as simple as building a deck or putting on a sunroom, to a kitchen remodel, to whole house remodels,
Sure.
which we've done several of.
Sure.
So it really, all different phases of renovation and remodeling
Right.
are what we do.
And, I do say that to clients as well. It never hurts to call. It never hurts to inquire. We may not be a good fit, or the project may not be something that we're even capable of doing. So, but you won't know until you try or until you make that call. Speaking of that sort of part of the process, or that part of the process, how do you advise clients to assemble their team? What do they need in their, or who do they need on their team to make a renovation successful? And at what point do they call those people in?
Well, a lot of times it's kind of difficult to answer in some ways because a lot of people have different things that they're good at.
Sure.
Some people feel like they have a real good grasp on picking out designs or how they want spaces to feel. So right from the beginning, it's best to kind of assess what you feel you're good at, and from there kind of decide what you're not good at, and look to the people that can help you with those things. A lot of times when we first meet with people, if it's in the very beginning and they're just starting to consider a renovation, we can kind of sit down and go through that wish list, look at the property, and get an idea of how detailed a project they're looking for. A lot of times when somebody is saying that, I've waited for 15 years that I've lived in this house to do this, and this is my opportunity now to really make it everything I've dreamed about, those type of situations you really want to put together the full professional team. It's best then to have your architect and your structural engineer involved from the beginning, bring in a designer that they're going to work with so that everything can be put together to work seamlessly.
Right.
Then again, you also have the small things where you're just going to put on, say, that sunroom or that all-season room. Again, it's important there to make sure that what you're planning to do from the beginning is going to fit. It's going to work within your setbacks. It's going to work within your city and county codes. So contacting a contractor early on to make sure that those things are all correct is a good idea.
Right.
Because a lot of times people get an idea of what they want to do only to find out later that they can't go out on that side of the house because of the setbacks.
Sure.
So I think it's good always from the beginning to involve the people that do this every day.
Right, right. It is a very complicated process, and that's what's so great about working with you, Eddie, is you've been through it so much that you problem solve right there on the spot very, very well, because I've watched you, I've interacted with you in terms of doing that, and you encounter that on a renovation so much. So your builder or someone on your team has to really be able to come up with the best solution and the most economical solution all at the same time, and you're really, really terrific at that, and you take the complication out of it, and I think that that's what's so important for people, because they don't do this every day, and we do.
Yep.
And it makes a huge difference, because we can save you so much time and so much money and so much headache at the
Yes.
end of the day because of what we've learned along the way. Now, as promised, let's talk about something really fun. Let's talk about trends within the industry. What are the hot trends? What are people wanting now in their homes? And what are they renovating for? What are they putting in that's so exciting?
Well, for us it's a little bit different, being that we do all different size of projects. We don't have a specific list of exact, these are the things that people are focusing on. Each project is very unique to those owners, but you do get a sense of things that are similar that everyone's looking at. Obviously, green construction is right there at the top of the list. Everybody wants to know what type of green products we're using, what green practices, whether or not there's any third-party inspections or certifications that we're working under. So the green topic is always the very first out
Right.
there. In home design, one of the biggest things that we're seeing is the move away from formal spaces. A lot of us grew up in homes that had that formal living room, that formal dining room, and you just kind of walked by them and said hi until it was Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Right.
And that's really going away in a lot of people's
I'm
homes.
finding it too.
The formal dining room has gone away, and what used to be the breakfast nook is becoming a larger space
Sure.
that is the main dining room,
Right.
but it's usually just off the kitchen, adjacent to the family or living room, so that it's kind of in the heart of the main living space. In addition to losing those formal spaces, we're seeing the request for a lot of multifunctional spaces. A lot of people don't want to dedicate one room just to being a study anymore. They want it to be able to be a study and a exercise room maybe, or a multi-flex room that can be a nursery now and
Sure.
can change to that study later. That's something that quite often when you have an interior designer such as yourself to work with, that helps a lot, because you can plan that room to change through the years with that family.
Right. Right.
And a lot of times that helps a lot, because then the base elements that you come and put in stay the same. You're just changing out some of the bigger items,
Absolutely.
like the
Absolutely.
crib changed out for the desk,
Right.
or
Right, right. I want to let everyone know as well that you are LEED certified, and some people might not know what that means, so tell us so that everyone knows.
Yep, LEED stands for Leadership in Energy and Design. LEED for Homes was the first full third-party program to certify homes as green. It basically is a program in which you have a checklist of certain items that are mandatory that you must do for green certification, and then other items that you can aspire to. The more items that you include in your project, the higher your point total. The higher your point total, the higher your certification. And you can go from being just certified all the way up to platinum level certification.
Wow.
Renovations typically provide their own set of complications when it comes to total house certification, because of the fact that if you're not opening every single wall in the
Right.
structure, it's real hard to make sure that those walls are insulated properly, sealed properly. But what we can do is make sure that all of the spaces that we do touch are all done the best that they can be done.
Right.
A lot of advances today in spray foaming insulation, advances in zoning our HVAC units, things like that make it to where we can focus on just that one area of a home and bring it up to full green, if you would,
Right.
and wait to do that next phase the following time. You don't have to do it all at once.
This is excellent information, and I know that now people are going to want to know how to get in touch with you, Eddie. So give us your website or a way to contact you.
Easiest way to get us is at homesbyexcalibur.com. As well, we're listed here locally in Myrtle Beach. It's Excalibur Construction. Phone number is 843-626-9879.
And there you have it. I hope you have garnered a lot of great information. I certainly have, and it was wonderful
Thank
to have
you.
a chat with you. We're also going to try to twist Eddie's arm to give us a few tips that will be running from time to time on our blog, so stay tuned. And again, thank you, Eddie,
Thank
for
you for having
coming.
me.
And go have an It's So Fabulous day.